Hey friends, it's been a while. Let me fill you in on what's been going on. England is in lockdown 3.0. I've been going insane in my house, by myself, alone, lonely, very lonely. And to try and keep busy, I've been trying to find some material, some kind of monologue that I can, focus on, that I can perform for you guys, just so I can really stay in touch with the craft. It's one of my favorite ways to practice, to keep everything practical. But guys, I've been having such a hard time trying to find something to perform. However, oh my god, so I completely forgot about this. A couple of years ago, when I was doing my summer foundation drama course, every day at reception they would leave a table out and put loads of books on there that you could take for free. And of course there wasn't just books, there was plays as well. And every day before class I would always put a few in my bag. I didn't really pay much attention to what I was putting in my bag, but I just thought, free books. I might need them, and turns out I do. However, I forgot that I had them, and they've been sat in my loft for like a year. And then a couple of days ago I realised that I did have them, and I thought, you know what, because I can't find anything on the internet, why don't I read a play a day and see if there's something of interest within the pages that I can take and perform for you guys. And just so happens the very first play I picked up was this one. It's called His House in Order, and as you can tell, it's very old. It's literally falling apart, but it's this play by Arthur W. Pinero. I've never heard of him. I've never read any of his work. This is the very first one. It's called His House in Order. It's a comedy in 4 acts, and I read it yesterday and it was very interesting, guys, and I've just got to tell you what goes down in this play. But I am very happy to say that I have found a monologue within it that I can use, that I find really interesting, that really stood out to me when I read it for the first time, and that I thought, oh my god, I have to perform that. Even if I can't do it justice, I have to perform it because it's a very wise monologue, and some say I'm wise. Not humble though. What I thought I would do is tell you what goes down in this play, and then kind of take you along with me in terms of rehearsing the lines of the monologue that I'm going to do. And also, whatever I find out about the play, I think it would be quite fun to let you guys know as well, because I love things like that. I love knowing every little detail, and I know there's some of you who don't, hence why I just uploaded the monologue by itself for you guys to watch. But for those of you who like to know behind the scenes, that's what I thought I'd do. So let me first of all just break down what goes down in this play. And it's a very slow start to the play, but as it builds up, it gets exciting. And like I said, I've never read any of, sorry, I was about to call him Andrew, Arthur W. Pinero's work, but the language he uses is so good. What's more than good? Use your words, Kamari. It's better than good. It's absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm getting weird. I'm just gonna go to the synopsis of the story. It's about this this man called Phil Majesson, who has been widowed. He had a wife, but unfortunately she died in a very tragic accident 2 years ago via a carriage incident. The horses seem to have bolted, the carriage flipped over, and she died very tragically. However, she was called Annabelle, and her and Filmer had a son together called Derek. And Annabelle has been depicted to be the most amazing wife anyone could have ever had. She really kept his house in order. She knew what to do, what to say, how to be as his wife, because he seems like a very important man. But they've got this son, and what happens is he gets a governess for his son, and the woman who takes up that position is a young girl called Nina. She's 26 years old, and she gets brought to the house as a governess to obviously tutor Derek. And she gets introduced to Filmer through a friend. And she comes from the complete opposite type of background. She's not very rich, not very wealthy. Her parents have passed away. She has no more living relatives alive. So I think he feels like he can provide for her and give her a decent life. So what happens is she comes to the house as a governess, but Derek, the little boy, has a lot of complaints about her, and it's safe to say that she's not doing the best job. So Filmer marries her thinking that she will slip right back into the role of a wife and keep his house in order, which is not true. She is a completely different character to Annabelle. She doesn't uphold the same qualities that made Annabelle, that made her the most amazing, beautiful, sought after wife there was, basically. And her marriage to Filmer is definitely not a love match at all. But when she comes to the house, no one makes her feel very welcome. It seems like her husband's a very busy man. They don't spend a lot of time together. It almost seems as though their marriage is just a mutual contractual agreement of some sort. Anyway, Annabelle, his previous wife, her family are still very much present within Filmer's life. So much so that you can almost say that they're very demanding and very controlling, especially when in Filmer's house, because to them it's still their daughter's home. Their daughter made that house a home, therefore they have the right to say and do what they want, which is not true, okay? At best, they're just, guests, they're very dear guests. But Filmer, because he's got this bond with them and they share this attachment of Annabelle, his previous wife, he kind of lets them be and lets them say and do as they please. And basically, everybody gets brought to this mansion, the Jessen mansion, for an event. And the event is Filmer is opening up a park in the memory of his late wife and he's going to call it Jessen Park, and he's invited everybody to come and open it with him, which includes his family. Sorry, her family, but he has also invited his brother Hilary to come for the opening. So everybody comes to the house, and Hilary has never met Nina. However, he's heard of her, he knows that his brother has remarried, and Hilary is the complete opposite to Filmer. He seems like a very spirited soul, a very cultured individual. He has travelled the world, he's met loads of people. He seems more relaxed, more laid back, and you could definitely tell who carried the most pressure and responsibility growing up between the two, because Filmer's very, stiff upper lip and just does the job he's been set out to do. So his brother comes to town, which he's very happy about. They seem quite close. And so has his in-laws, or his ex-in-laws, which is his mother-in-law, his father-in-law, his brother-in-law, Price, and he has a sister-in-law, Geraldine, but she hasn't come to town because she lives in his house. She works for him, Geraldine, and she really goes out of her way to make Nina feel unwelcome and a nuisance and just a filler, basically, just somebody who has to be there but has no real value. And you can almost see, if you didn't already know that, Filmer was her brother-in-law, you would probably say and assume that she was married to him. The way their relationship is, they seem much more closer, much more comfortable around each other, and she's really dug her nails into that family, and she is really close to her nephew Derek, her sister's little boy, and it's almost like she spits poison in his ear about Nina because he doesn't really like Nina at all. Anyway, she lives there, so Nina can't really do much. She can't really call her house a home. She doesn't feel like it's hers because the shadow of Annabelle is just everywhere she turns. She's constantly being compared to her. She's constantly being told what she's doing is wrong, that she doesn't withhold the same qualities as Annabelle, that she doesn't do this right, that she doesn't do that right. And she's a young woman. She's 26 years old, but she does have a mind of her own. And what they really don't like about Nina, the worst thing they don't like about Nina is she's outspoken. And she speaks up and she says what she doesn't agree with and what she doesn't like, and they hate that. They just want her to know her place and be quiet. Anyway, Hilary arrives and he has never met Nina before, but you know, he's really excited to meet her, and when he does meet her, he's so lovely to her. He's the only one that gives her the time of day and talks to her like an actual human being. He's always kind of in her corner, knowing that the ex-in-laws are constantly just patronising her and mocking her and just making her life a bit of a misery, in all honesty. Anyway, everybody comes down for this occasion, including family, friends. There's this guy called Murray who comes down, and he's a really close family friend, almost like brothers to Hilary and Filmer. And he's also really close to Derek. He's built this like relationship up with Derek, and Derek's obsessed with him and needs to be with him all the time and gets upset when he's not with him. And basically the day before they open the park, they're at dinner and everybody's kind of, you know, digging into Nina, sticking their heels into her, and she gets fed up and has this massive outburst and says that she's not going to go tomorrow. Do what you want, I'm not going. But of course this is in a time where society meant everything, and they don't want their daughter's you know, Memorial Day, the anniversary of her death, to be nothing other than what it is, a day all about their daughter Annabelle. And if Nina doesn't show up, everyone's just going to be talking about how Nina's not there, so they need her there. And they don't see it as a happy occasion either. They don't look at it as a celebration of her life. They're still very much in mourning. So when they go to the park, they want everyone to dress in bland, dark colours, almost as if it were her funeral again. So everyone wears black. And she, Nina, goes to her room, doesn't come out, and, you know, vows that she's not going to come the next day. And Filmer gets really stressed about this. Everyone's shouting at him, saying to do something, control your wife. Control your wife? And he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't really know her that well. He doesn't know her well enough to barge into her room. So he's like, you know what? I've got this. I will handle this. I will write her a letter and I will put it underneath her door, and hopefully if she's in good spirits she will come tomorrow. And everyone's like, oh my god, you're so pathetic. Anyway, he does that, and she reads the letter. She finds it even more patronising, and so the next day she's even more adamant that she's not going. And everyone comes downstairs to meet and wait for the carriages to go to this park and open this park, and she's not come down yet. And Filmer comes down and everyone's like, Filmer, where's your wife? She has to come. And he goes, no, she is coming. She wrote me a letter saying that she'll be downstairs. She doesn't say that she's going, she just says that she will come downstairs, which she does. But she comes downstairs in a pink, beautiful dress, and everyone's looking at her like, oh my god, why are you going out of your way to ruin this day for us? And they're like, you can't come wearing that, you have to go and change. And she's like, no, I'm not changing. So they all accept that she's not going to go, and so they leave her in the living room. And basically what happens is, this is where it starts to get really interesting. This is like within the third act now. So Derek, the little boy, he's in the process of moving rooms for being taught in, because in the West Wing, where he's currently being taught by his governess, the light in that room is not the best, and it only starts to come out during the later hours of the day, rather than, I think the east wing, in this room which used to be his mother's bedroom. No one's been in there since, but they decide to make that room his classroom. So he's in there moving all his books. He sees this mouse and he runs to chase the mouse, and the mouse goes into the floorboards, and then he steps on the floorboards and there's a bit of a creak. And so he lifts the floorboard and he finds this handbag, and he knows it's his mother's. He didn't really know his mother because he's still very young. He was really young when she passed away. But he sees this bag. And so he takes it into the living room, and everybody's waiting outside at this point besides Nina. And Derek, the little boy, wants Nina to help him write a letter to Murray, the family friend, because he didn't help him move his books that morning and he's very upset with him. So he's writing him an angry letter saying that he's really disappointed in Murray. And whilst he's writing it, Nina sees this bag and she says to him, "Have you opened this bag?" And he's like, "No, I can't open it." So whilst he's writing his letter, she opens it and she finds these letters within them. And she quickly takes the letters out, closes the bag and gives it to him, and he goes on outside. So she's by herself in the room now, and she opens up these letters. Oh my God. She opens up these letters, and the letters are from Murray. That, you know, that family friend that's really close to Derek. He was writing love letters to Annabelle, Derek's mum, Filmer's wife. And there's loads of them, and they were in love. Scandal. And obviously having an affair. And you can also assume that Derek is most definitely not Filmer's. He's Murray's. And Murray knows this information, hence why he is so close to the boy. And she finds out all this information, and she has just hit the jackpot when it comes to revenge. She's like, oh my God, wait till everybody comes back. Look what I'm gonna do to them. I am going to throw these letters in their face and tell them that their daughter, their sunshine, their most amazing girl was a cheat, was a liar, and was most definitely not a law-abiding citizen. And she's loving it, and she can't wait to tell them. However, Hilary, her brother-in-law, walks into the room, and she decides to tell him of these letters. And he, oh my God, he's so amazing. He tells her not to, and knowing how horrible these people are to her on a daily basis, how much abuse she gets for simply not being Annabelle. And he gives her this massive speech, which is the speech I will be performing. And he basically says to her, look, God works in mysterious ways, and you know, hasn't Annabelle been punished enough? And Nina's like, she hasn't been punished at all. Everybody's put her on this pedestal so high I can't even reach her. And look what she's done. Look what she's done to your brother. Don't you want him to know? And he's like, she's been punished, you know. Everything happens for a reason, and God knows what he's doing. And then she's like, well, what if God wanted me to find these letters and expose it all? And he's like, if God wanted you to find those letters, do you think he would have wanted you to expose them in the way you plan to? And really makes her think about what she's going to do, and makes her realise, even though these people are being extremely hurtful and horrible and horrendous to her, she doesn't have to act the same, you know? She doesn't have to hold this grudge that will tear her inside out and make life all about them, when really life should be all about her, because she's so young. So she listens to him, and he manages to persuade her. And so she says she won't tell. And she even does one better. She goes upstairs, she changes into black, and she goes to the park with them and opens the park, whilst Hilary grabs hold of Murray and says to him, you need to leave this house right now. I've found the letters, and I know all about you and Annabelle's affair. And Murray doesn't deny it, and he says, she belonged to me, Hilary. We met each other way too late, but she was mine, and we were in love, and Filmer just saw her as someone who could you know, be the upkeep to his house, his mansion, to run things. But I saw her for what she was, a woman. And then you start to feel, you know, sad for Murray, because he's actually lost the love of his life. And he doesn't deny it, and he doesn't, you know, argue with him. He leaves. He promises that he'll leave the country, that he'll never see Derek again, who is his son. It's actually very sad, you know, not condoning what they did. And Hilary tells him to go, so he goes, and he makes some excuse up to film and says he's needed back in the city and he must go. And Derek says goodbye to his dad, not knowing that that's the last time he'll probably ever see him. Anyway, when they all get back from the park, the brother-in-law, Annabelle's brother, he's just such a horrible man. He's one of those men in the corner, always smoking, always sniggering, thinking he knows best. And he does not like Nina at all, and he's been observing Hilary all weekend, and he tries to have it out with him and says, I know what you've been trying to do all weekend, trying to stay in Nina's corner and defend her appalling behaviour, and making it look like me and my family are the bad guys, and just all this nonsense. And Hilary keeps his calm, but inside he is so angry, because only he knows what this young girl is doing for his family, you know, keeping it all together, keeping this picture perfect view of their daughter on this high pedestal, even though she hates her, you know. So Price just does not have a clue, and Hilary's getting very angry because this guy is just really sticking the knife in, to the point where Hilary can't take it. And when Price leaves the room, he gets his brother, Filmer, and he tells him everything. So even though he spout all this, you know, this speech, this amazing speech to Nina telling her not to do it, he goes ahead and tells his brother anyway about the affair, about Derek. And Filmer asks Hilary if Nina knew this information before she went to the park. And Hilary says, yes, she found out just before she got changed, and then she told me of it, and I told Murray to leave, and just basically explains everything that's happened. And Filmer then realizes to himself what a woman he has on his arm, and how amazing she is. And although she doesn't have the qualities of his previous wife, she withholds her own qualities, different qualities that can benefit him in different, better ways. And it's just like a light bulb moment, and he knows that he can't go on having his ex-in-laws in and out of the house like they own it. So when they come in from the gardens, he has a conversation with them all and says, look, we are happy for you to visit whenever you see fit, as guests, but this is mine and Nina's house. And for the first time just sticks up for her and goes over to her and gives her a kiss on the forehead, and she's like, oh my god, well, I didn't see this coming. Hilary obviously has told him, even though he told me not to tell him, because Hilary is just the best character in the whole entire world. So I was really trying to find some monologues within the play that I could perform from Nina's perspective as Nina, just because we have, you know, some similarities, one of them being we're the same age, and I just thought it'd be perfect if I could find something that Nina says, and she says good, you know, what she says is really good, but nothing really just stuck with me. And the only monologue that did was Hilary's. And I know it's a male character, but I think it's in my favour that first of all he's called Hilary. And also, you know, the monologue that he says, it's not too masculine, it's not too feminine. I can alter it, I can make it mine, and I think I could do some kind of justice to it. So I've written it all out on here so far, just breaking it down, going through it, and god, this monologue is, like, for someone who says this off the cuff, it's so well constructed. Like, this in itself is such a great argument that it would have been very hard to walk away with the same intentions as before speaking to Hilary. You know, it would have been very hard for her to have walked away and continue her plan to out Annabelle and Murray. Just the way he talks to her, it's so sympathetic yet so logical and reasonable and just human. That's what I love about it most. It's just so human, and you can tell that he's been around the world. You can tell that he's met a lot of people, that he's had a lot of conversations, that he too has possibly made a lot of mistakes and doesn't want him to do the same. Sorry, doesn't want Nina to do the same, because he can see so much potential within Nina, it's ridiculous. And from the very first meeting they have, he can see it. He can see what this girl has to offer, and says to Filmer, you know, embrace her for who she is and not who she isn't. And that's what Filmer is late to the party in realising. So that's a bit of background. I know that was very long, but whatever else I find out, I'll let you kids know. Morning guys, as you can probably tell, it's the next day. I've literally just spent the morning going through my lines and rehearsing, as you would have probably just seen. I really need to invest in some kind of equipment for my camera, because right now you're sitting on top of a cushion, a stack of books, a scarf and 2 hats. But I just wanted to let you guys know I've been doing a bit of research into the play. And I found out a little bit about the author, Arthur, who is a British playwright who began his career as an actor at the age of 19, but shortly fell into writing and so became a full-time playwright. I also was trying to figure out the timeline that the play is actually set in, because it doesn't actually say in the play or even in the stage directions, and I've been reading like every little font there is to try and see if there is, and I don't know, maybe I'm just being daft, but I can't see it. However, it does say that it was first performed in 1906 in London and in New York, and then when I wikied it, because I wiki everything, it says that it's kind of, well, the film's set in like the 1920s. So I'm gonna take that as a time period, the 1920s. I've just come to realise, I think, that the reason I want to do Hilary's monologue, and I think it's because, especially from, like I said, changing Hilary into a woman rather than a man, first of all, she can relate a bit more to what Nina is going through. However, being a bit more experienced than Nina and having explored the world a bit more and, you know, come across many men and women, she's, you know, very observant, and I just feel like the monologue that she says to Nina is far more important to perform, because what she's saying really holds value and meaning. And Nina is so full of she's just so full of revenge, because people have hurt her and now she wants to do to them what they've been doing to her. And it's so easy in life to take that route, you know, when you feel hurt, all you want to do is hurt that person that's hurt you, and you're acting out of impulse, out of anger. And then you have Hilary, who is just so calm and collected and knows full well what Nina must be feeling, but to then say to her to go against the grain, go against all your instincts and take the higher route and just be happy because life's too short. I think that is really the message I want to put out there when performing, and that's what I'm really going to try and get across when I perform the monologue. It's not that, you know, as a woman, I know what you're going through, take what's yours, do what you've got to do, I support you, I stand by you. It's deeper than that, you know. I know what you're going through, I 100% know how hard you have it, yet I'm advising you, despite everything you know, that we both know, of how we get treated in this world, to just go against what you're thinking and you will have a better outcome, you know. Don't out of anger, don't release this information that will literally tear this family apart, especially this little boy who's already lost his mother, and now essentially he has lost his biological father. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I was just thinking about it and it's just so deep, you know, what Hillary's saying, because these people are temporary and your life is not. You have to live with yourself, do you know? And his moral, or her moral, now that I've made her a her, just be happy, because it's so rare in this world to be happy, you know, especially back then, of what women went through, you know, how they were so inferior to men. And what Hillary is saying to her, I just think it's so powerful, and I think that's the reason, as I'm really getting to know her, that's what I'm getting from her. So I really hope I can convey all of that, guys. I'm not too sure if I will, but I hope. We're gonna pray. So let me know as well, let me know if I did a good job, or, you know, I need to work on it, because I love to hear that kind of stuff. It makes me better, it makes me a better actor. So please get involved, you know. What do you guys think about the story? Have you read it? Are you going to? Like I said, it's not a popular one. Well, I don't know if it's a popular one because I've never come across it, but who knows, it may be like a massive play and I just didn't know, just my ignorance. But yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower now. It's filming day. Welcome back, guys. I know you've just literally been watching me for the last couple of days, but this is actually a week later for me since I picked up the camera. I've just been rehearsing. I now know all my lines. I've really gone over the character. I've even given her a background of where she's been in the world, so I've done my homework. I feel like I've done my homework, and I just feel like today is the right day to do some takes. So I'm going to film the monologue today. The way I like to do it is, I don't like to do more than 3 takes, and if I feel like I haven't gotten it within the 3rd take, then I just stop filming and I just go over what I think I'm getting wrong and then give it another go. And that's about it really, that's all I really do. So I'm going to give it a go, I'm going to set everything up. I've done my hair, I've done my makeup, I've done it just really natural, no eyeliner, I've just put some mascara on, and yeah, I haven't even put any foundation on or anything like that, just really simple. And yeah, I'm just gonna set everything up and give it a go. Let's see how we get on. Wish me luck. Wow, I did it. It wasn't 3 takes, it was about 15, but that was not my fault. I live in a madhouse and I had people talking, screaming, doors opening, closing, creaking. All the noise in the world decided to take place within the 3-minute monologue. My sheet's just falling down as well, so I think that's a sign to tell me to just stop. So I have got all this footage. A lot of it is stop-start, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go through it and see if there's something, if I captured something good in it, and if I have, you will be able to check it out. If you click the link above, it'll take you straight to the monologue, which I hope I'll be able to put out. So guys, thank you so much for clicking on the video and coming along with me on how I prepare for a monologue. I really enjoyed it and I hope you did too. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Take care.